Yeah, he should stay outside.
No, they're rehearsing.
Oh, they're rehearsing?
Then we have access control point number 2. Our point of
It's okay. Text him. Everybody hold the phone. Text him.
We'll hold this.
Put it down.
That's nasty. We're in the second floor. Yeah, just come up here.
Go back here.
He's coming. Yeah, this is fast.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Where?
Up the stairs. He's gonna walk up the stairs, see?
Hey, there's your food.
This should be drinkable now.
Oh, good.
Well, because it was too hot. Like I burnt my finger.
That's the only size coffee Chick-fil-A does.
Yeah. And Nancy, I was like, can I have a large? She's like, only do one size. I was like, oh. And so I was like, where's the nearest gas station? I saw the Wendy's. And I was like, okay.
I'm gonna talk close to him.
He's trying to eat.
Look over here. 1, 2. One more.
Very fast. Take a picture of this.
Oh my god.
Oh. Here, stand in between here then. Okay, Arena face up.
When?
She's around.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
I have an extra coffee now.
That is an extra one.
So text your mom. Where's your mom at now?
I was like, no. Wait, this is egg. This is not it. That's it. I get my mom's food. How much do you want this? How much for the chicken? That's also big.
Headquarters Battery, Hampton, Virginia, commanded by Chris Ryan and Sergeant First Class Robert Parker. Alpha Battery, Hanover, Virginia, commanded by Sam Ignacio and First Sergeant Brian Powers. Bravo Battery, Northport, Virginia, commanded by Matt Anna and First Sergeant Blake Newman. They did just win Best Battery last night. And last but certainly not least, Charlie Battery, Hampton, Virginia, commanded by William Gooch and First Sergeant Tyrone Stewart. We are honored to have with us today Governor of Virginia, the Honorable Ralph Northam, Acting Secretary for Veteran and Defense Affairs, Kathleen Jabbs, Congresswoman Elaine Lurie, Congressman Bobby Scott, Major General Timothy Williams, Major General retired Frank Batts, Brigadier General Whedon Gallagher, Brigadier General James Ring, Brigadier General retired Walt Mercer, Brigadier General retired Ted Shuey, Colonel Todd Hubbard, Colonel Christopher Samolsky, Command Sergeant Major Irving Reed. Give him a round of applause. The prestigious history of the 1st Battalion 111th Field Artillery Regiment traces back to the earliest artillery in Virginia, including the Norfolk Light Artillery Blues, originally organized in 1828. Now, Bravo Battery, 1st Battalion 111th Field Artillery, and 1st Company Richmond Howitzers, originally organized in 1859. now Alpha Battery. After the Civil War, our unit's lineage continued in Virginia Volunteer Militia until its formal designation as the 1st Battalion in 1877, with headquarters in Richmond, Virginia. In 1891, 1st Battalion added the Portsmouth Light Artillery, which originally organized in 1809 and saw service in the Hampton Roads area during the Battle of Carney Island in the War of 1812. The Virginia Volunteer Militia were first designated as the Virginia National Guard in 1916, and the 1st Battalion was called up into federal service on the Mexican border that year until 1917. Following service on the border, the 1st Battalion again answered the call for federal service during World War I, initially assigned a security mission at Newport News Shipyard. Following that assignment, the battalion was assigned to the newly established 29th Infantry Division, Blue and Gray. The 1st Battalion arrived in France in July of 1918. Due to complications of the Spanish influenza, the 1st Battalion arrived at the front, occurred after the armistice came into effect in November of 1918. After serving as a part of the occupying force in Germany, 1st Battalion returned to the United States, mustering out of federal service in 1919 at Camp Lee, Virginia. Between World War I and World War II, 1st Battalion remained a part of the 29th ID and restationed its headquarters in Norfolk, Virginia. During World War II, 1st Battalion spearheaded the invasion of Normandy, France, landing on the beaches of Omaha Beach to support the 116th Infantry Regiment. After losing all but one of its howitzer in the rough seas, under intense enemy machine gun fire, 1st Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Thornton Mullins of Richmond, Virginia, famously proclaimed, "To hell with our artillery mission, we gotta be infantry now." The 1st Battalion earned the Meritorious Unit Commendation and the French Croix de Guerre for D-Day landing and saw intense action throughout the rest of World War II. 1st Battalion was again activated in support of the global war on terror. In 2003, 1st Battalion mobilized in support of Operation Noble Eagle by providing force protection for the military district of Washington, including installations at Fort A.B. Hill, Fort Belvoir, and Fort Myer in Virginia. In 2007, the 1st Battalion provided substantial forces to the 2nd Squadron 183rd Cavalry Regiment as part of Task Force Saber's reconnaissance and security mission in Iraq for Operation Iraqi Freedom. In addition to federal mobilizations and deployments, the 1st Battalion has been activated a myriad of times in response to missions in the Commonwealth, to include hurricane response, winter storms, and support of numerous gubernatorial inaugurations. This battalion has and continues to contribute much of the military strength and development of our Commonwealth and our nation. The citizen soldiers of our unit are truly proud of our unit's heritage and accomplishments. And we stand ready to respond to the next call, either at home or abroad. As Task Force Thunder heads out the door, our motto will always remain, never unprepared. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Major General Timothy Williams, the Adjutant General of Virginia.
Well, good morning, 111th Field Artillery Regiment. Before I launch into my comments, I certainly want to thank Governor Northam for sharing time with us today, Congressman Scott, Congresswoman Loria, General Batts, Deputy Secretary Jabs, the rest of the general officers, sergeants, majors, and I do have to take a point right now and call out Sergeant Major Ron Smith, who's with us today. who didn't get called out. So he's one of our battle buddies. Got to make sure he gets a shout out. Sergeant Major, good to have you with us. I also want to recognize a few of our 111th alumni. I certainly mentioned Major General Batts, but also Colonel Bolton, Colonel Marshall, and so many others that are with us today. I want to wish also our cannoneers a belated happy St. Barbara's Day. Hope you guys and gals had a great time this past Saturday. I wish I could have been with you. So it's good to be with the regiment today. As a former commander and alumnus of the 111th, for me, today brings back a host of memories and events since 9/11 that marked the beginning of the global war on terrorism and our first mobilizations, and the steady march of time that brings us to this point, now 20 years. Today's event is a part of a series of mobilizations in 2021 that began in early summer with the 29th Division headquarters and will wrap up with the 2nd to the 224th Aviation in January. These mobilizations will result in the most 29th Division soldiers federalized for overseas duty since World War II. And as we gather today, you're standing tall as a well-trained and well-led battalion. Your deployment starts with time at Fort Sill, where your combat skills will be honed in ensuring that you're ready for any challenge, and I have every confidence that you will be very successful in your deployment to Iraq. The road to today has already been a long and challenging journey, and through it all, we couldn't be here today if it weren't for two key groups: your employers, and most of all, your families. A heartfelt thanks to you and all that you've done for your soldier, your communities, our state, and our nation. And to the families, our state family programs team are here to make sure that if you need assistance, you have it. Don't hesitate to raise that flag and let us know what you need. And to the soldiers, you are a great and storied unit in our Army, and was driven home with a recent trip that I had to go to Normandy, when we had the opportunity to meet with 3 key mayors in towns that you recognize from your history, that included St. Mary Glees and St. Louis. And from their perspective, the actions of your forebears on 6 June of '44 are as important today as they were 77 years ago. When these mayors reflect on 6 June, they view the 29th Division as their liberators. The patch you wear is a visual reminder of the hard-won victories and can be used as a lens to view our history from World War I to World War II to the Balkans, as well as Iraq and Afghanistan. And think of that for just a few moments and you realize the impact that our 29ers have across time, and think of your upcoming mission. And as I've said to so many of our mobilizing soldiers and airmen in the last few months, while we refer to our World War II veterans as the greatest generation, I would argue that your generation has faced a different set of challenges and set an example of greatness for the future to honor. And the way we remember the brave men and women who liberated Europe from the Nazis and secured victory in the Pacific against Imperial Japan. And with your brothers and sisters across the 29th, it's now your mission to carry the torch of liberty. So I wish everybody here the best of luck and Godspeed, and hopefully we'll see you on the high ground soon. And now, it's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you our 73rd Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, our Commander-in-Chief, Ralph Northam.
Well, good morning, 111th. All right, you all need to get a little bit better than that. I want to say it one more time. Good morning, 111th. That's what I like to hear. It's good to be back in 757, as we say. Thank you, General Waite, for your leadership, and also thank you for the introduction. I'm here for 2 reasons this morning. One is to say thank you to the men and women who are wearing the uniform, and also to your families, and also to wish you a safe deployment, and also, even more importantly, a safe return back here to Hampton Roads in Virginia. I want to, if I could, just take a brief minute to offer my condolences on behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia to the family and friends of Captain Andy Arvik. As you all know, he was tragically lost and leaves behind a beautiful wife, Anna, and two beautiful children, Amelia and Arvia. So I would ask all of you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers and do everything that you can to support them, especially through the holiday season. Again, General Williams, thank you for allowing me to be with you this morning. Lieutenant Colonel Bailey, I had the pleasure of meeting you, an ODU graduate, a Monarch, and I'm just so proud of you and your family. I also wanted to give a shout out again to Congressman Bobby Scott and also Congresswoman Elaine Loria. She represents the 2nd Congressional District, and Bobby Scott the 3rd. Please give them a round of applause if you could. And our Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Kathleen Jabs. Kathleen, it's great to see you again this morning. I think it's safe to say, General, that the last 4 years plus have been very busy for Virginia's National Guard. And if you add up the number of individuals that have been deployed just from Virginia, it is the most we've seen since the Iraq conflict back in 2007. And if you add up those soldiers from Maryland and Kentucky that are joining this mission, it's really the most that we've seen since World War II. So your demands have been called on, and I could not be prouder of what you have done, not only for Virginia, but also for this country. And whether it be natural disasters, and we've had a few, or whether it be the civil unrest, you all went to our nation's capital on January the 6th and restored order there, and I appreciate that. Or whether it be your response to COVID. And one of the things, having served in the United States Army myself, a lot of people think of us as fighting wars, which we do. That's what we're trained to do. But we also do a lot of humanitarian work, and that goes unnoticed sometimes. But especially during COVID, the help that you gave with testing and making sure that Virginians were vaccinated, on behalf, again, of Virginia, I say thank you. I know what it's like to be deployed. I served in the United States Army for 8 years on active duty. I never will forget back in early 1991 during the first Gulf War, I was called at 2 o'clock in the morning and told to pack my bags and to tell my family goodbye, which I did. I proudly served during that conflict. So I know what you're going through. I know especially during the holiday season, but your mission for this country is so important. So I wanted to take this opportunity to especially thank the men and women that wear the uniform and put your lives at risk and the inconveniences you go through, but there's no prouder moment for you than what you're getting ready to do. So I certainly wish you Godspeed. I also wanted to take this opportunity, as General Williams did, to thank a very important group of people, and that is your families. And you could not serve your mission without your spouses, your partners, your family that's supporting you from home. And so to all of you that take care of the children, it's wonderful to have the children with us this morning. I'm a pediatrician, so the more they squawk and cheer and cry, that's all good with me. But taking care of the home front, paying the bills, making the children are cared for, your mission is just as important as the men and women in uniform. And then finally, also what General Williams alluded to, we could not do this mission without employees that are cooperative and allow you to do your jobs here, but also allow you to deploy. So if you all could all give the men and women in uniform, the family, and also the employers, please give them a round of applause. As I said earlier, I really just hope that you all have a safe and successful mission, and we certainly hope that you return home safely. Again, Godspeed to you. We're proud. So may God bless you, the men and women in uniform. May God bless your families. May God bless this Commonwealth of Virginia, and most importantly, may God bless the United States of America. Happy holidays. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor Northam. Allow me to introduce the commander of Task Force Thunder, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Baker.
Good morning, Governor Northam, Congressman Scott, Congressman Luria, Major General Williams, distinguished guests, general officers, family, friends, and most importantly, the soldiers of Virginia's only artillery battalion. Welcome to our departure ceremony as we embark on a challenging mission and seek to build on the storied past of the 1st Battalion, 111th Field Artillery Regiment. Thanks to everyone responsible for setting up this ceremony, and a special thanks to Mayor Alexander for offering today's venue. The mayor is represented today by the City of Norfolk's Military Affairs Liaison, Len Remus, Captain, retired United States Navy. Also joining us this morning is the 29th Division Band. As always, they sound great and they add a special touch of class to these ceremonies. Finally, I appreciate the assistance this morning by the volunteers of the Virginia Defense Force, directing traffic and coordinating parking outside, which was a monumental effort. Thank you to the soldiers seated before us today. You have stepped up to take on a critical requirement at a critical time for the nation's interests in the Middle East. Today marks the start of the first overseas deployment behind our unit colors since 1942. This is a genuinely historic moment. The 1st Battalion, 111th Field Artillery Regiment will assume control of counter-rocket artillery and mortar operations and operational control of select other air defense elements to protect critical assets in the Middle East. The nation, the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Army, and the National Guard are depending on us to succeed. You cannot lose sight on how truly important this opportunity is. I have no doubt you will rise to the challenge and perform well. To Governor Northam and Major General Williams, thank you for your confidence to give these soldiers the opportunity to perform in this consequential mission. Prior to embarking on this historic deployment, we should acknowledge the tremendous performance of 1st Battalion in a year marked by high operational tempo. In January, as was already stated, many of these soldiers lived up to the National Guard's motto of always ready, always there, by leaving their full-time jobs and families to answer the call of duty in Washington, D.C., in what was the largest domestic mobilization of this battalion since Operation Noble Eagle shortly after 9/11. These soldiers assisted in the security of the nation's capital following the events of January 6th, supported civilian law enforcement for the 54th presidential inauguration, and became among the first soldiers quartered in the Capitol since the Civil War. Balancing domestic emergency response and continuous training on our core mission as artillerymen presented challenges in the execution of our pre-mobilization strategy. But we are done, and we could not have done it alone. I want to take this time to acknowledge the Command and Staff Directorates from the 116th Infantry Brigade Combat Team and the Joint Forces Headquarters, Virginia, for their tremendous support and assistance. Thank you for your commitment to our success and continuing support. The last few months have been extremely productive for our individual and collective readiness, as preparation for this deployment entailed long, hard days, sacrifice of personal time, and no doubt added stress to our lives while faced with the ongoing realities of the COVID-19 pandemic. To our families, as soldiers, we receive a lot of acknowledgments for our service. But our families and our communities serve right alongside us. thank you for your courage and sacrifices in the defense of freedom for current and future generations. Be comforted knowing that these soldiers are well-trained, well-equipped, and well-led, and that though we are often focused on the mission at hand, you are always foremost in our minds and hearts. Know that we cannot do this without your wholehearted support, and you are absolutely essential to our success, as you are why we fight. I encourage our families to monitor our communications on social media for updates on the deployment and actively communicate with the Virginia National Guard Family Programs Office and remain connected to our unit family readiness groups. In closing, I'm very proud to say I am deploying with this battalion. Our mission is complex, it is worthwhile, and many will be depending on us. Soldiers, stay ready. I'm proud of what you have already accomplished, and I know we will accomplish yet greater things in the very near future. I ask that you stay vigilant, resilient, and lean on each other throughout the next 12 months. We will not fail. Never unprepared, ever forward. 29, let's go.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Bailey. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Bailey will join Command Sergeant Major Perry for the furling of the colors. The very heart of a unit is symbolized by the colors under which the troops serve. The colors stand as a silent reminder of the unit's past glories and traditions, lend inspiration for present endeavors, and shine like a guiding beacon into the future. The Furling Ceremony is an event marked by tradition, honor, and respect. The colors will be unfurled once they arrive in theater. Tradition holds that colors serve as a rallying point and location for the commander as the unit goes into battle, emphasized by the regulations containing instructions to color bearers, which states, when in action, resolve not to part with the colors, but with your life. With the furling of the colors, the task force will begin their deployment to the Middle East, where they will assume control of the counter-rocket, artillery, and mortar operations necessary to protect critical assets throughout the area of operations. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction and join us in singing the Army Song.
Would you again pause for a brief moment as I pray blessings over the families remaining behind? Gracious Father, I pray that hope, peace, and love will remain with families that we're leaving behind. I pray that with every challenge, you will quickly draw us back to you. Give each family a peace that surpasses understanding and a living hope that cannot be shaken. Let love be multiplied and joy be restored day by day until we all return. Father, also remain with the family of our brother, Captain Andy Arvid. Show his family grace and kindness as they grieve and heal, as they will never be forgotten. May your power and peace guide us. In your name I personally pray. Amen. Amen.
and gentlemen, at this time, Task Force Thunder will exit the theater and board buses to depart for Fort Bliss, Texas, to begin mobilization training. Once Task Force Thunder exits the theater, please remain standing for the departure of the official party.